Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertainers. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertainers. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertainers.
Hello and welcome. Oh shit, I got that on the screen.
Professional operation we got going on here.
I mean, I'm the best producer we have. That's
That's the problem.
I'm the best producer. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of News Brief. Today is Monday, July 14th, and it is 12:10 p.m. I mean, a.m. See, I already fucked it up. 12:10 a.m. and we are back. I'm in for the full week this week. I won't be leaving like I did last week and just coming in and letting these two boring fucks. I think I'm married.
Boring.
Well, Patty's not here, so one.
Yeah.
Boring fuck.
Barry.
Is that Barry or one?
I see what you did there.
So with me today is the infamous Patriot Rob and the not so infamous Barry Ramey.
Yeah.
Rob, welcome to the show.
What up, brother? What's up, everybody?
What's up, Barry?
Gas prices by 10 cents nationwide.
Didn't you say
Definitely not my penis.
when you said that on Friday, did it go up another 10 cents?
No, I just say that, but it actually went up.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, it's just a cool thing to say when someone says "What's up."
Diesel went up.
I saw Diesel yesterday. I went to Walmart, and funny thing, me and my old lady, we decided that we were gonna do a TV dinner night because we're watching that Netflix movie by Zack Snyder. You guys seen it, Rebel Moon?
Oh God, it was horrible.
I got through a quarter of it, and I was like,
Yeah, dude. The Mary Sue boss chick bullshit movies I've had enough of.
and I thought the cinematics were gonna be a lot better, but not to get into like fucking production and shit. But you know what I don't like about Zack Snyder? His movies aren't dark enough. Even like dark scenes are bright. It looks like it's always in a studio.
You ever see Sucker Punch?
Sucker Punch. I enjoyed Sucker Punch.
That was a dark movie.
Yeah. It's like, look, a really good movie. And Barry, I'm sure you've seen it a million times because it was on the tablet forever. The Batman.
Yeah.
Batman was one of the best Batman movies I've seen. And I thought it was going to suck.
You mean with the dude from the vampire movies?
That's what I thought. I'm like, they just fucked up Batman by putting in this fucking, I could say, yeah. Oh well, we're on the YouTube channel. They put this queer on there and they're gonna fuck it up. Actually, it is, I think the best Batman.
Dark Knight.
No, it still beats Dark Knight.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dark.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it multiple times, dude. I mean, listen, so the opening scene where he's in the subway, I gotta admit that was fucking badass. That was Batman. And when I'm not a fan of the Batmobile in that movie, but when that motherfucker started up for the very first time, yeah, no, it was dope. But I don't like their choice for Catwoman. Call me racist. I don't care. Catwoman's white.
Oh, I thought she was great. I
think she's the fact that they made her a dyke pissed me off.
Well, she's not a dyke.
I think she was going both ways.
Oh yeah, no.
So do cats, though. Let's face it. I mean, they're the only other animal that has AIDS.
Which
I
is
think she's an insufferable douche. I can't stand her.
Whatever. I thought she was great. I thought.
Yeah, I think she's got
that bike. The Triumph was.
No, Michelle Pfeiffer forever. Fuck that shit.
I'm a Triumph for. I know you're a Harley guy. I love Triumph. I think they're badass fucking motorcycles.
They're not bad. I can't say anything negative about Triumph.
They're better than Harleys.
No, yes, the Rocket 3 is fucking is nasty. Absolutely.
Oh,
I own a Victory, dude.
I thought I was gonna get a rise out of you. But
no, I own a Victory. Fuck Harley Davidson and their faggot ass fucking CEO and their fucking tranny fucking bullshit. They can fuck right off.
Well, let's get into the news. We'll get into the TMZ of movies towards the end of the show. Barry, you're going to lead us with this story.
A
new story that came out, you said about 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's been about 30, 40 now that Trump took to the airwaves and announced that he will be. It seems that Trump is finally pretty pissed off at Putin. They had another phone call. The phone call seemed to be going good. Negotiations were being made. What does Putin do? Same thing he's done now, I believe twice before, hang up the phone and fire rockets into Kyiv. Now, Trump is officially pissed the fuck off. Rightfully so. So what is Trump doing? Now, it's going to piss a lot of people on the right, and I don't give a shit about the left. But I will say it's going to irritate a lot of people on the right because Trump is now sending Patriot missiles to Ukraine. Now, there's a little bit of Trump brilliancy behind this move and this play. What people aren't going to realize or aren't going to give a shit about, especially on the left, is that we basically have a contract system with other NATO countries that have these Patriot missile systems already in place. A lot of them, all of them, they reach an expiration date. So what's happening now is countries like Sweden and Switzerland and all these places with Patriot missile systems, they're coming up on their expiration date, and Trump is going to give Ukraine them. Ukraine is going to be paying for these systems. They're not getting them for free.
They're purchasing them.
Going to replenish the systems in those NATO countries, which we were already going to have to do anyway. And pretty much throw away these old Patriot missile systems. We're now making Ukraine pay for them, and it's pretty much a posture towards Russia to say we're irritated. And Trump has announced that in 50 days, if Putin does not come to the negotiation table for real this time, that they are going to announce 100% tariffs on Russia in 50 days. Now, a lot of people are talking shit about this tariff posturing, and I get it. But what economists now are saying, and these are economists that oppose Trump and his terrorists, they're now saying that Trump's bullying and posturing with these tariffs are actually showing signs that they're working. Of course, we're not going to hear anybody talk about that shit, but it is showing signs that it is working. Will this be another positive note for the Trump administration? I sure hope so personally. We'll have to see. But that is what's going on now.
Okay, so and as I'm a little bit of my very small amount of military knowledge, these are offensive weapons. I believe they're not meant to take down missiles. The system, I believe, can be loaded with defensive anti-missile systems, but the Patriot system is an offensive weapon.
It is notoriously known for being an offensive weapon, yes.
Yeah.
But it can be, there is arguments in gray area and technicalities, let's call it what they are, where you can make arguments that it can be a defensive weapon.
Yeah.
It's
So-
it's diverse.
You know what? Let's go back to this. No, this looks weird.
It does
gotta
not looks
redo
great,
this.
actually.
Of course it does.
Hey, Mom.
So Rob, what do you think? What do you think about this? Are you pro?
Well, you know, he said he would stop the war in 24 hours.
I think that's kind of like the museum thing where Kash Patel said that he was going to turn the FBI office. I don't think I had any realistic expectation of that. I know what that meant, that he was going to swiftly do away with the war in Ukraine that's been it's been waged since I believe February, end of February of 22, because it was right before I got picked up. But
I guess
tell me a little bit more about what you think. I'll tell you what I think.
I guess the caveat of this, or the is that we're not sending them money, and from what I've read, that it's the EU that's going to be paying us for these weapons. We're not giving Zelensky another dime, which is great, but at the same time, as much as war sucks, again, I am somebody who is America only, and we should, if the rest of the EU wants to support Zelensky in this, fine. We should just say, you know what? Let Russia do whatever the fuck they want to do. It's because of Biden and Biden's policies that war happened in the first place. Zelensky fucked around and is now finding out. And I truly believe that if you look at the size of Russia's army, like active duty army, and you look at Ukraine's active duty army, if Russia really wanted to, they could have laid waste years ago. I honestly have been watching this since day one. I think Russia is slow walking this because they don't really want to cause that much devastation. But at the same time, in the 90s, we promised Russia that none of the countries that broke off from Russia would ever be accepted into NATO. And if it wasn't at the insistence of Joe Biden and his regime, Ukraine would have never even dreamt about coming into NATO. I wouldn't want, like, it for me, it's if Mexico decided they wanted to join up with the CCP and then have China put all of their army and their fucking missiles and all their offensive systems on fucking Texas's border in Mexico, we wouldn't put up with that either. We would go into Mexico and wipe them the fuck out. It's the exact same scenario. Russia does not want Ukraine in the NATO, and NATO should never be in Ukraine.
So I guess the moral question here, lies in, do you guys support the sales of weapons to other countries, whether friendly or, in Ukraine's case, I don't think it's a friendly. Ukraine's notoriously one of the most, even before the war. That's why putting the little Ukraine flag and being pro-Ukraine, people don't have they don't see behind that February assault by the Russians. It is notoriously the most corrupt country in that region. So we've seen them take the money, the aid that Joe Biden gave them, and squander it, and use it for personal reasons to buy homes and vehicles and things like that. So I guess, look, my position is I think we should. I don't know about Ukraine. I'm just saying in general, we should sell weapon systems, and not at a discounted rate. You know, I've said this before on the show. Most of you know I was a contractor for the Department of Defense, and my invoices were ridiculously high. And I don't assume that we should lower the price on that just because it's Ukraine or whoever it is. I am pro selling weapons to some, very cautiously, to some nations. We should never give them, like we saw with the Biden regime, with multiple situations like Israel. Israel's not a poor country.
No.
Their entire, a lot of their economy, and I'll look this up in a second. Their entire economy, most of their economy, comes from manufacturing these weapon systems, and designing these weapon systems. So when we give, these things out without anything, we're getting anything back, is something that I can't. I think most Americans can't agree with, except the left. The left wants to give everybody everything that we have, knowing,
except for Americans.
Yeah, exactly. So with that said, just on that position, do you guys agree in general that we should sell weapon systems to foreign nations?
As long as those nations are our allies, obviously. And I just want to say real quick something that Rob said.
Afghanistan was an ally.
Yeah.
Or an ally.
So was Iraq.
Yeah. So some of those things you really got to look. I'm sorry to cut you off, Barry. Go ahead.
No, that's good. But I want to go back to something that Rob just said to add to it. We did have a lot of bioweapons laboratories in Ukraine that we were funding and we were operating on, and there was bioweapons labs that were doing pathogen studies that still are actually. That one little drone strike from Russia could actually start another fucking COVID-19 thing again because of the crap that's going on in these labs. We also set up a lot of missile defense systems around in Ukraine years ago, and Putin had a problem with that. So a lot of people don't realize that there was a lot of built up animosity that we were contributing to with this Ukraine problem. As much as I am America first and love this country, I'm not going to let it off the hook when it's behaving inappropriately. And in Putin's eyes, we were doing just that in Ukraine for many, many years. Why would you build weapons defense systems if you weren't planning on attacking a country and defending their retaliation? So I just wanted to add that. Do I think we should? I think we should lead the world in weapon systems sales. As long as it's falling in the right hands. But history has shown we do a terrible job of that.
I think we've always done a terrible job. And then to talk about history of the Red Army, right? They've kind of had our same strategy when it comes to war. The reason why the Russians were so successful in World War II was because of the conditions of going to assault St. Petersburg or assault Moscow, in those times, Stalingrad. And they're not really an offensive army. They're not an offensive military. With us, we kind of have the same structure and strategy when it comes to military. We just throw bodies at it. Obviously, now things have changed. It's modern warfare. We're using drone systems, Patriot missile systems, and defense systems. And I think that we definitely should stay out of it. should we sell weapons to Ukraine? I don't know. I'm on a 50-50 thing. I think it is posturing also by the president, and saying I like one thing I like about the president is he puts these deadlines. And he's like, look, I'm going to give you 50 days. If you don't do this in 50 days, then I'm going to do that. If this, then that. Um, and I think I think let's see if that strategy plays out. In the beginning, I think Barry, you started, this is going to piss off a lot of Republicans. Lately, what we've been seeing coming from the administration is it has been pissing off a lot of Republicans. And we're actually going to get into that with a couple of things, actually almost everything. And the next two segments, I added some stuff to the Twitter beef section because I think actually it's important. It's not just Twitter beefs. So let's go through these next two things, which is the Autopen scandal, and the shooter in Kentucky. Let's try to move it rather quickly because I do want to get into the Twitter beefs. So let's start on. Do you guys got anything else to touch on this subject?
I do not.
Rob?
No, I just think this is just going to further more violence and war, and Putin at one point is just going to be like, all right, I've had enough.
Yeah, I think so.
This is not where we want to be right now.
And I think if you want to end the war, if the Russians want to end the war, if Putin wants to end the war, I think taking an offensive strategy is the best bet for that.
The easiest way to end the war, bro, is for Trump to come out and say Ukraine will never enter NATO. It's over.
I think
it's over. It's done.
He hasn't. You're right, Rob. He hasn't said that direct to the camera. Be like, Ukraine will never be a NATO member. Work
out all the other minutia later on.
Yeah.
Deal with the biggest problem first: Ukraine entering NATO.
Yeah.
Real quick. Sorry, Rob. My bad.
No, go ahead, bro.
This Bobby brought up a really good point that I forgot to touch on with this whole thing because he's absolutely right. Trump probably negotiated weapons sales to Ukraine with the precious metals deal. All right, so I looked into this a little bit, and this just got announced, and a lot of people are pissed off because we've been calling out Democrat socialism with this Mamdani character in New York, right? But we may have an actual case of Republican socialism, and here's what I mean. So right now, this minerals deal looks like one major company is going to monopolize all of this, and Republicans are now trying to pass a bill that gives the government a huge stake in that company, in the precious minerals deal, and that's Republicans pushing this bill. Call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure government owning companies is socialism, right? I mean, am I right here, or am I crazy? I don't think the government owning a part of a major company working out these deals with geopolitics concerned is a really good thing. So, I'd like to see people really talk about that. But he is right; there is a minerals deal worked out with this weapons trade.
Yeah. So I when it comes to foreign policy issues too, sometimes you gotta add this always. We're not in the situation room. We're not looking at. We're not sitting into those White House press briefings.
Sure.
And I think that there is, obviously, when it comes to war, there has to be a level of secrecy by the executive that has to be maintained. Are you on, Rob? Are you on? Is there a Spaces session going
right
on?
now? No. I mean, I could bring one up in 10 seconds.
No, I mean, it's up to you regardless. But I just, because I saw Shell just comment come up, so I didn't.
Yeah, she's watching. She's watching live.
So, also there is that, I do trust the president when it comes to foreign policy issues, because there is things that we don't know. There is strategies that we don't know. And I do believe that his position on Ukraine has remained the same. But regardless of the fact, okay, let's move on. Let's move on to this Autopen scandal that just broke, I think, last night, or in the middle of the night or something, because I didn't see it. I was up pretty late last night. I didn't see it happen. Here we go. So I'll read this. It's been revealed that the Joe Biden's J6 committee pardons were signed by Autopen at the direction of an assistant, making them null and void, just like Fauci. prosecute and put them all through what they put innocent people through over a lie. No one is above the law. And then, as you see the pictures here, it shows all the members, the 9 members of the committee headed by Benny Thompson, which is the first to sue me for the Capitol events at the Capitol on January 6th. And then you have the 2, I hate calling them Republicans, but I guess you could call them Republicans.
Yeah, they fit the character real well these days, unfortunately.
Rhinos.
It's fair. And then you have this cockeyed bitch sitting here in the middle right here, that I did my committee subpoena with. But regardless of the fact, so the FBI and the DOJ have announced that they are currently found that these were signed by Autopen. On top of everything, not only did they find it, the person who signed the some of these the person who orchestrated the signing of it was and I'll look up the name of it now, but the person had a lot to do with the COVID-19 mandates for the White House. So you see these Fauci January 6th pardons for the committee coming from somebody that was instrumental on Biden's COVID mandates moving forward. So it's a rather big story, and the reason why it's big, because we've heard this since pretty much the end of January, since I came out. But what's notable here is that the DOJ and the FBI have also announced that they have found it as a fact that this happened. So let's start with that, and then we're going to move on to why I think this happens now, why this happened today. Rob,
you want to know why this happened today?
No. I want
for you to say that.
I mean, no, you could go ahead and say why you think this happened today.
Because they needed diversion from the Epstein shit. And that's the same reason. And that's the same reason why. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you know, but that Dr. Moore, Pam Bondi, dropped all the charges on him.
Yes.
And that was because of pressure. If we never put pressure on people like us sharing it, Sally Talks, I forget the guy's account, something dead. Somebody will correct me in the comments. If it wasn't for them and James R., those guys actually going, because they're out in Utah, they went to the trial and they put it out there. She would have just continued on with it. So
the account's called Died Suddenly.
Died Suddenly. Thank you. So if it wasn't for those guys that were really, I mean, those 3 were on the ground there pushing it out to X, there would have never been enough pressure on her. She needed a win. And this is going to be another thing. And honestly, like the Epstein files, I don't believe for one second that we will ever see. Fauci will die before he ever gets indicted.
Yeah. In that news, Senator,
because he's old, not because anybody's going to kill him. And I don't advocate going out there and killing him. I'm just saying he's really fucking old. And
Senator Rand Paul is actually putting through his criminal referral again. At the feet of Congress. So that's also a thing. Barry?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a better explanation than a distraction from the fucking Epstein files, but that's clearly what this it looks like it is. It's just a convenient timing, and she does need a win. I think you're going to see little things like this. I think you alluded to this in several shows ago, Enrique, that you're going to see little wins here and there, but it's not going to represent the picture of the work that needs to be done in its entirety behind the scenes. I think it's just more of it. I really like to know more about the, Bongino stepping down over this. I think that says a lot. He got a lot of criticism when he took this job. I don't know. I think that this is a testament to his integrity to some extent. So let's see what happens with that. But, I don't know, man. I'm tired of hearing things that sound good in a fucking headline and then seeing no action. Nothing ever becomes of it.
So
So how would I not chalk this up to the same thing?
you know, I was the first with Dr. Moore. I'm not going to say I'm the first. Everybody says they're the first. You know, as soon as I heard the news that, you know, the case was dropped, the case was dismissed in its entirety. You know, I was quick to give credit. You know, I'm like, Pam Bondi, although I'm angry with you, this was a great move, because it was.
It's not because she wanted to.
It goes back, yeah. And then let's see. So we got to look at this like it's a personal office dispute, right? So in the case of Pam Bondi, where did my mouse go? In the case of Pam Bondi, you know, she's gotten all this negative flack. And then one thing that goes above just money, right, is reputation and power. So if she continues down this path of not prosecute, I think she should be fired. Let's start with that. I think she should just be outright fired at the current moment. But if she doesn't start getting these high profile arrests, her legacy is going to be destroyed. And that's why I think that we're going to start seeing these little tidbits. They're not going to be enough. But I think that we'll start seeing these small tidbits, because we saw the 86-47 from James Comey. Nothing happened. You know, nothing happened with that. We have Merrick Garland that is still within the bounds of prosecution for his for the same thing that Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro went through, which was obstruct Congress and not care about the subpoena. And Representative Anna Paulina Luna had referred him to the Department of Justice, which was his Department of Justice, and they declined to prosecute. So in this case, Pam Bondi has, I'm not going to say the ability to redeem herself to the MAGA community, but Pam Bondi has the ability to at least quell most of her critics, like just bring them down a notch by getting the January 6th committee indicted, by getting Dr. Fauci indicted, by getting Merrick Garland indicted, amongst other things. We've seen zero arrests. Let's be honest. We've heard so much that we're going to investigate, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. The Epstein files are on my desk. She has the ability to fucking make me shut up for a little while, because all as these things are going, you know, what am I going to say? I'm going to be like, well, you still got to fire her. You know, I'm still going to say that. But then I got to be like, all right, fuck. She got Fauci. Oh, fuck. She got the January 6th committee. I think the thing that'll quell me the most is the January 6th committee, because it does hit on a subject that me and Barry and Rob, you would have been indicted for and been to prison for. So if she does that, I think that I won't stop calling for her firing, but I'll chill just a little bit. Even though me calling for her firing right now, my attorney's completely against it. As you know, I'm like doing it. My attorney, every time I tweet, because my attorney's on Twitter, every time I tweet, my attorney's like, bro, you need to fucking chill. You're suing people, and this is a woman that has like the lawsuit in her hands. You need to shut the fuck up. And I did for a little while. I was like, all right, you know, I'll lay off. But then we see all these things happen, and I'm like, dude, how can I shut the fuck up? How can I shut the fuck up? So it's kind of, and then the Bongino thing. I'm going to touch on this quickly because I don't want to hog the mic, even though I like hogging the mic. The Bongino thing, we haven't seen any news about that today. You know, he's supposed to be back in the office today. Did he quit? I don't think so. Is he doing it to save face? I think so. Look, the DOJ memo on Epstein, we don't have to look at that and be like, well, Dan Bongino never saw it. They just pulled it out, which would be a lie. But he said it himself on live TV. You know, Epstein, there's nothing there. He didn't kill himself. You know, it was found just recently that The video was edited on Adobe Premiere. The file was edited on Adobe Premiere. And another thing, I don't know the truth behind this, but and you know what? We need to get Barry. You know who we need to bring into the show to speak on the Epstein thing?
Who is that?
Ryan Samsel.
Okay.
And the reason why is because Ryan Samsel was an MCC, and he did go to the shoe. So he could give us a layout, because I did see a couple of maps of the layout of the shoe in there. And as you know, there's a lot of inconsistencies. When you're in the shoe, the BOP has the same policy no matter where it is.
Well, exactly. That's exactly what I wanted to say.
In the Bureau of Prisons, if you are in the shoe, there's 15-minute walks. Every 15 minutes, they look inside the glass and they check to see what your status is.
And if you're sleeping under a blanket, they'll bang on the door to make you move.
Not only that, but and that's, you bring up a good point. But didn't Epstein hang himself? So it's not like he could hang himself and then he's like, all right, now I'm dead. Let me lay down and put the blanket on me. And then maybe you could point at like a correctional officer in the BOP and be like, well, you know what? Maybe he didn't do his job, you know? But another thing is, here's a kicker. And this was officially from the Department of Justice. So again, Barry, you've been in the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
They said that he was outside his cell. He was put back in his cell at 10:45 p.m. Barry, do any inmates, whether they're in the shoe or whether they're outside of the shoe, do they get out of their cell at after 9 p.m.?
No, the only way, which would be a paper trail, is if there was a medical visit from the nurse. And they would come to the shoe. He would visit them in handcuffs, probably shackles as well, and then be escorted back into. Any other medication that was administered would be done through the food slot in the door. Yes. So there would be a paper trail that he had a medical visit with a nurse at that time, and that's why he was out of his cell. Other than that, there is no reason you should ever be out of your cell.
So, and let me tell you something else as far as the layout of the shoes, right? So the suicide cells are always on the same floor. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm mistaken here. But I've been to a lot of shoes. I was in the shoe practically my entire time, going through 40 different prisons. The shoe cells are always the cells closest to the officer's box. If we see the video, the officer's box is across downstairs on the hall. It wasn't upstairs. And another thing that somebody pointed out, and again, we're going to investigate this, is that officer's cell. I mean, the cell that supposedly Epstein was in was not in that corner. It was down the hallway on the first floor. So there's a lot of inconsistencies, and I'm going to call Ryan. I'm going to call Ryan and see if I could get him on the show so we could discuss this.
I'm going to call him right now. Put him on speakerphone live.
Yeah, try to mute yourself and just make sure he's going to go live. But I want Rob. I want your take on this. Not just like the Epstein thing, but just in general. You know what? Just go. What do you think about all this?
Just go. I think this is all fucked up. We all knew from the very beginning he definitely didn't kill himself. They're trying to excuse it away, and unfortunately, there are people that are going to believe it. That no matter what, this is called cognitive dissonance, my friend. This is when you have a narrative already made up in your mind, and then you're presented with things that screw with that narrative, but the things that are screwing with that narrative, to be true, but you just don't want to change your mindset. We all know that he didn't kill himself. We all know that there's something else going on. We all know that this is never going to happen. And you know what? To add to this, we all know that Ghislaine Maxwell will never make it to the Senate.
Yeah. That's another thing. So I saw some stories on that. Barry, is it a green light? No, not yet. Okay.
Not yet. She is offering. The Senate didn't ask her. She's offering to go there and blow the whistle on all of this.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that. And I think it would be very wise of Mike Johnson to allow her to speak in front of the intelligence subcommittee. I think it would be very, very wise.
She'll never make it.
Yeah, she'll probably kill herself too.
You know her house is for sale. It's actually half an hour from me.
Huh?
$2.9 million, and it's like 156 acres.
That's suspect, Rob. What were you doing?
It came up in the Zillow, dude. I was like, holy shit, that's the house that they got her in. They put it up for sale, almost $3 million. And
That's not how that went down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think you were just randomly looking at Zillow and then this person's house
I
just came
that
up in your
somebody-
For You page on Zillow. And
No, and somebody had said that her house was for sale. I was like, get the hell out of here. So I went to Zillow and I put it in Zillow, and it is for sale.
was that person that mentioned that wearing like a trench coat and sunglasses and a briefcase?
No, I saw it on Twitter, dude. Somebody had said Ghislaine Maxwell's house was up for sale, and I was like, oh, I know where that is in New Hampshire. Actually, it's in Bedford. And so I looked up on Zillow, and yeah, it's for sale. It's got a lot of nice property, though, dude.
I saw some pictures of Ghislaine, several years ago. She was, pretty hot.
Listen, I also believe that fucking Epstein worked for Ghislaine and her dad. So that's,
I read things that would support that narrative for sure.
And Jared, I don't know if you saw the answer to your question, my friend. You have to join to get one of those T-shirts.
Yeah, so we don't sell Proud Boys merchandise to the public. If you're a member, you'll get the gear. But you could get some cool ass gear on 1776.shop.
Yes, the critical mass tees are coming.
And I was thinking about asking you about this. Is it who do we talk to about getting can we do I support my local Proud Boys kind of T-shirt?
I would assume so, as long as
it can't have laurels on it.
It can't have laurels on it.
Yeah.
I would assume like it would have to be like, the B-Buzz font,
Yeah.
And just I support your local Proud Boys.
It should come with a disclaimer tag like, do not wear in downtown New York, Portland, or Seattle. Wear at your own risk.
Or Portland, Maine, or Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, Providence, Rhode Island. Definitely don't wear it in Providence.
Don't wear it.
Yeah.
And unless you got balls the size of fucking mine or Enrique's or Barry's. And if you got balls like that, then you wear whatever the fuck you want.
I just want to be clear. My spiritual balls are very large. My physical balls are quite small.
So or if that guy that was standing next to you during the December 12th rally, balls that size. I don't think we can show that. I don't think we can show that picture, but for the most part, yeah.
Dude, I almost spit my fucking coffee. Sucker.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to this next subject. Rob, this is your story.
Yep.
And there was a shooting.
Samsel didn't answer, by the way.
Okay, we'll get him on the show.
Yep.
Rob, go ahead. Let's see.
Yeah, yesterday there was a shooting in Lexington, Kentucky. And it was by the religion of peace and love, Islam. And what's funny is
I thought you were going to say Christianity for a second.
No. Listen, we had the Crusades, dude. We had the Crusades where we're horrible, even though we grew out of that 1,000 fucking years ago. And Islam has not grown out of that. So this is the guy. Oh, is this mine you got up there, Enrique?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have one ready?
Yeah, it's sitting out here on the stage, bro.
Go ahead.
One of these days we are actually going to be a professional studio, and we'll have all.
No, we're not. Don't put that on me.
I'm trying to self-produce here. I thought you guys had the slides.
So this is the guy. Okay? this white boy wannabe Islamist, pro-Palestinian, Antifa douche, who's got at least 23 convictions on his record. Most of those stemming from gun charges, theft. Let's see. Let's see.
After you, yeah, go ahead.
So this is like 13, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. I mean, we can definitely, get more on him. And he is pro-Palestinian. Yeah, look at this dork.
Oh yeah, he's definitely white.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Oh, yeah. That's the dude in jail that's making phone calls to his fucking girl to cash app some dudes. They're punking him out for $20 a day.
Scroll
So
down a second, Rob.
he shot a state trooper and killed 2 women, wounded 3 others. He carjacked a vehicle. And here's the other thing that I wanted to point out is that he is a volunteer and a donor to the Zohran Mamdani New York City mayor campaign.
Oh, let's watch that get swept right under the fucking rug like it never.
I mean,
happened.
listen, it's already pretty much swept under the rug because if Bob didn't say that, I wouldn't have known.
I didn't know that either.
I've been looking at this story.
He donated to Act Blue, and he shot 2 Christians in a church.
Is this guy alive? Did they take him?
No, the cops took him out. But this is the face of the enemy, ladies and gentlemen. This douchebag right here,
And the douchebag next to him. Click on that.
This fucker. But we're talking about this dude.
Yeah.
This is indicative of white liberal ideology. This is the white liberal male. I'm not even going to call him a man, because he's not. He's a piece of shit who's burning in hell right now, thankfully. And this is the shit. What you guys don't seem to understand is this is the shit that we have been fighting and facing for the last 10 years. This is exactly what they're just. It's Antifa and BLM taking on a new face and a new cause to fucking champion. This is exactly what we're fighting against, ladies and gentlemen. When we say we go out there and punch back, this is what we punch back. This is what we have to stop at all costs, because now this is pervasive throughout the left. This pro-Palestinian mindset, where these white little douchebags that are all like Gavin said, professors' sons and daughters. They think they can glam on to being a Muslim, and they're fighting for Palestine. And honestly, fuck Palestine.
So
yeah, and see, we don't just go out there and try to punch him in the face. You see this time and time again, not just with guys like us, but with street pollers and people on the right that go out to these lefty events that aren't trying to troll them. They're just trying to have a conversation, because we know under the amendment of free speech, if their ideas and their arguments are ever amplified and ever heard, that they're going to be rejected. And we see that. We saw it on November 5th. So we're always trying to talk to them, but they don't want to talk. They resort to violence, and they resort to tearing down their cities and burning buildings. And that's where we say, yeah, fuck no.
that last picture you just put up looks like a MAGA mom.
These are the victims. These are the victims.
Family members.
No, these are the victims.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, and then the
Let me see this. Is that him?
Yeah.
Can we click on that?
That there looks like the result of a soy-based diet.
Mm-hmm. So, and I'm trying to find this now as we speak. There was a video where people were on his Facebook page praising what he did and lamenting his death.
Of course.
And it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people.
Of course. The heroes of the left.
If you click on media up there on the media tab, you might be able to find those Facebook things.
I thought I had that queued up, but this is
click the media tab on the search, right under the search bar. It says media. No, right on there you go.
Yeah, I got it.
You damn button's giving me a freaking problem over here.
I could hear that stupid little mouse.
Shut up. My mouse is awesome. This is the state trooper that was shot, but he's expected to survive.
Oh, good.
That's good.
Yeah, the outpouring of people. Rest easy.
Rest easy.
No, burn in hell.
rest in fucking piss.
In pig's blood.
And I hope he fucking gets wrapped in bacon.
And get buried in. Yeah. You know,
Some of the Delta Force guys do that. They dip their rounds in pig's blood.
Yep. Good for them. Listen, Islam. Islam ideals and ideology is diametrically opposed to American values, Western civilization, and Western culture. It is incompatible with the way we live our lives. This freedom of religion thing is bullshit when you have people like this that are openly out on our streets calling for communism. Once you do that, you lose your right to be an American. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry to say this. We have the freedom of speech. We have the right to redress our government. Okay.
Oh,
but when you're calling for the downfall and the destruction of our country, walking around with a communist flag, promoting a violent pedophilic ideology like this, sorry, this isn't your country anymore. You are now an enemy combatant. Fuck you.
I want to talk about something that's even more offensive to me than him being pro-Palestinian and the shamag around his kafifi or whatever the fuck. Let's talk about this.
His head condom?
No. I got to remove one to add the other. This is more offensive to me. He's an aspiring rapper.
Oh, rap sucks anyway.
But
you can't spell crap without rap.
But he's an aspiring rapper. I mean, he looks like he's an aspiring rapper. So nothing like kind of like
we used to call those wannabes back in the day.
Jiggles my jimmies, right?
Jiggles my jimmies.
So the Proud Boys have been around everywhere. We've been to Portland, we've been to Austin, we've been to DC, we've been to New York, we've been to all these other cities, Boston, Los Angeles,
Providence.
Right? And like usually the people that oppose us aren't a POC, a person of color, right? It's usually a white communist liberal, right? America doesn't have like a big issue with anybody but white fucking liberals.
They
right?
are the biggest issue.
Because check this out. Look, if you're black, right, and you oppose the system, you could at least understand it a little bit, right? I oppose the system too, but I meant the way that they do. You could be like, all right, well, whatever, you could.
Sounds like FBA speak.
You're wrong, but you're all right. But then when the white liberals are sitting there and they're oppressed, and actually I'm going to show this. So there's some type of traffic incident in Portland, right? And let me look this up. Do I have the screen? I don't have the screen up. Don't put it up yet. Let me bring this up, dude. This is so good. Where are my bookmarks? Show tweets. I need to play this, and I need to play this in its entirety. It's 3 minutes long, but
driving habit. You see that?
And I wish I had time to transcribe this video, but I didn't. But I did put it because we need to play it. So what's happening here before I play this video is that there's some type of incident in the streets of Portland, right? And then you imagine how many liberals there are in Portland and how many SJWs there are. So this is a battle of two SJWs, a white lady, which should be deported. I think that we should keep, if there was a compromise to be made, I'll keep the illegals as long as we could fucking deport white liberals to like Africa.
Yeah, send them to Africa.
Or Gaza or some other fucking country over there. And I want
maybe if we send them all to one side of Guam, the island will tip over.
That dude's a retard.
Let's play this a sec.
I don't have time to waste on colonizers. She told me to go back to where I came from.
Your driving habit.
Do you see that?
Because we don't drive
I'm
the same
Native American.
Oregon. We're fucking kind. and we make space.
Okay.
And as someone who's from here as well, I'm so tired of people driving like you just did.
All right, get out of my face.
Constant.
Get out of my
Admit
face.
you're fucking wrong, and then it's not a
No.
race thing. Admit that you're driving.
Admit
like
you're
an
white.
asshole.
Admit you have a colonizer
It is
mindset.
not about race.
Yeah, tell them it. Yell at me.
It is not about race. And
Yeah, it
that's
is.
the problem here. If you want things to change, when you fuck
Oh,
up,
so it's on me.
do
So it's
not
on me.
call the race card.
Don't fucking be
Because
emotional. Do not call the. Shut up. And don't even get in her face. Do not get in her face.
You're taking out
Do
your
not.
pain and oppression on me right now.
He-
Stay out.
Oh my God.
He's saying don't get in her face while he's standing away. What kind of a fucking man is that?
It's fucking important. Give it a moment.
Don't take
If
your
you want
oppression out on
anything
me.
to change,
If you want, shut up. It's not on me to change. It's on you and your colonizer mindset. So get the
cannot
fuck
make
out
all
of my
this.
face
You made
now,
a mistake
you
and
white lady. You white lady.
I'm as angry as you
Or to
are.
get out of my face because I'm done with this conversation.
Then you'd be walking
This
away.
dude is
colonizer.
sitting here with
Works
You
phone.
fucking, it's not on me. It's on you
Anybody would
and
know
your
those
people.
people like that. They would have gone to the hospital.
I'm not taking any directions from a white lady.
Everyone needs to hear how angry
We are
you are,
such
but
a
it's
bitched
not
out
about
cock
this.
fucking nation of
It's
fucking
not about what just
men.
happened.
Please, get out of my
Disgusting.
Drive away.
Why can't you just walk? You're in my space. You're in my space.
You got in my space.
Get
and
out.
that's
You're
why I
breathing
got
my
out of
air. You
vehicle.
fucking colonizer.
You fucking
Get out of my face. Look at those white tears in the white condescending look.
There's
You don't know the
nothing-
pain of my people. So get out.
You don't know the plight of my people.
Get out.
I'm going to stand here with you until you walk away. Because what you did was wrong, and then you made it about race. And that's fucked up. And
You told me. She told me to get back to where I came from. Where am I from? I'm from Warm Springs Red. Where she and her white colonizer mindset put me in. Oh, I don't care. Oh, I don't care. Put it on the internet. What is the reality? She told me to come back to where I came from.
Why are these
Because I made a
men
simple
allowing their
mistake.
women to get into these fights?
You pulled in front of my car.
Because they're
in
from
my
Portland.
Yeah,
lane.
just to
You
get
didn't
around the
accept
car.
responsibility for what you did, and you made it about race.
All right,
and
I'm
that's
out.
Wrong.
I'm out.
Then go.
Good.
But I hope you have a conversation.
Keep
about
driving to Mexico,
Okay,
faggot.
shut the fuck up. I
Hope you have a
fuck up.
conversation.
And I hope you go back to fucking
your
Europe, you
anger.
bitch.
Channel your anger in a productive way, because this is not
It's
it.
not on me. It's not on me to channel my
How
anger.
you're acting in this moment is not a good representative of the human being you are.
It sounds like it, Jared. It sounds like it.
Oh my God.
Let me see if there's more here in the next
But
episode.
that's not the point.
So
Oh, I got another great one from Liberal USA. I got another awesome one queued up, ready to go too. You guys, this happened at TP USA yesterday.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Is great.
Go ahead and play it, Rob.
This is the definition of fuck around and find out.
Show me your shorts, boy. Look at this guy. Look at you, bro. Come on. Where you at? Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Nice flip-flops,
Come on,
faggot.
to the bathroom. Come on, come on, come on. Come close. Jump. You ready? Oh, you want something? Ready? Come on. Come on. Your car. They're gonna steal your car. They're gonna steal your car.
Hey, come over here.
Oh, wow. Fighting. Alex,
I love seeing liberals getting bodied.
There we go. We got the arrest. We got the arrest. Hey, show.
They brought out the puppies too. they were gonna get a snack.
So what I find hilarious about the first video is that I find myself rooting for the dude, right? I find myself rooting for the dude because this white Karen is sitting there, she's basically doing all the SJW shit that he's doing, but she's trying to convince him that she's an ally while she's doing this whole thing. You're oppressed, but this isn't why I'm mad at you or whatever. And this dude's just going off at her. So these arguments that they're having in the streets of Portland are like, that's why I saw this video yesterday. I'm like, I got to play this on the show.
It's gold. It's gold.
It's gold because like they're both of the same mindset. And they're sitting here calling each other. One's calling the other one the colonizer. The other one says, "You're oppressed, and that is why. That's why you're acting like this. But in this situation, you're wrong." You know, she's trying to like mansplain to this guy.
Yeah.
And it's glorious. And then on the TPUSA thing, which is what I added to our X beefs portion of the show at the end, I think it's great. And actually, at the end, they say something very important, right? Because one of the reasons why we would go to Portland and all these cities is so we could show that we're not the violent ones, right? And then my goal there was all we have to do is show up, and these people go apeshit and they get arrested. So I had an arrest counter, and the first Portland in 2019 that we went to, there were 63 arrests. 63 of them, the charges were dropped by the local DA, obviously. And then the second Portland, there was, because of that event, there was another 67 arrests in Portland that day. And across the country, there was another 103 arrests because of that event in Portland, right? Because they were protesting our event in Portland in other cities across the United States, which I don't understand, you know? So the point was, you know, to show people, and we said this on the last show on Friday, you know, if ICE keeps doing these raids and keeps getting rocks thrown at them, the positive that comes from it is that you get to take these criminals in. You know, these people that throw rocks, now you get charged federally. Now it's assault on a police officer with deadly intent, right? And they're put away for a long time, which is kind of the fucking goal, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend. I wear my bias on my sleeve. Yesterday, talking about Alligator Alcatraz, right? There was Debbie Wasserman Schultz, right? Went over there and she complained about conditions and all this shit. And then I wrote, I'm like, this cunt did nothing for us and for our conditions, but she wants to fight for these people. Fuck you. I don't care. Right. And you don't tell me that you're about law and order. You just wear the bias on your sleeve. Right. This is a chess game at this point. This isn't a constitution. This isn't like a law and order thing. Like, I want to take the chess pieces, the opponent's chess pieces off the board. And that's what Pam Bondi should be doing. And that's what FBI Director Kash Patel and FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino should be doing. Take the fucking chess pieces off the board. Because come 2028 and they take it back, they're going to arrest Trump. They're going to arrest you, Rob. They're going to arrest Barry. And they're going to arrest the 926 people that we are watching live right now. They're going to arrest you. Okay? It's a game. When you start understanding it, you start winning. And win.
Yeah. Well, the first video that you played, I think, is a brilliant display of the problem with Marxism and its fractalization within identity politics. The Democrats, for so long, have now been trying to create marginalized groups that they put together and have their own identity. And you see the trans community, the LGBTQ plus community, the Hispanic community, the Mexican community, the Cuban community. It's all these different communities that they want. Well, now you're starting to see their blocks crumble. They're starting to fight amongst themselves because all these identity politics have fractalized them within their own communities. And you're starting to see that play out in the mainstream. And honestly, it's a beautiful fucking thing to watch.
Yeah. Rob?
Yeah, I think that they're going to, if they did try, they're going to definitely fuck around and find out. I think that initially J6 scared the shit out of people. It cucked out a lot of people in America, and everybody was too afraid to do anything or say anything. I think we're at the point now where they can try that shit and try to bring it back around, and they're going to face opposition unlike they have ever seen before. So let them try it, and bring it on. And the other thing too is, as scary as the left is when it comes to this, we got people in our own party that are complicit in this. I mean, I wanted to bring this up later. You look at TPUSA and what happened there. Our friend Patriotic Batty, who I had on the show, She got kicked out of TPUSA because she was just standing next to somebody questioning somebody from Israel. She didn't say a word. She videotaped the whole thing. She had nothing to fucking do with it. You know, they're both the left and the right, although I will say the left does it way more on a much more major scale. They are trying to subvert free thought and free speech. And there are some people on our side, and we have to, if we're ever going to survive this, we need to start vetting the people that we put in Congress better than we have. Like, we can't let Lindsey Graham win again. We can't let Dan Crenshaw win. We can't let these people that have been a part of this. I mean, you guys know exactly what Dan Crenshaw said about the J6ers.
Yep.
You know, and that's a rhino.
And Lindsey Graham, which were the first ones to come out and say that we should be fucking.
Yep. Absolutely. Crenshaw cried like a bitch.
So let's touch on some of the issues. You bring up Patriot Batty and the TPUSA. So I'm going to start this segment of. So in today's X Beefs, there's a couple things that I want to cover, and I wanted to get here because some of them are funny and some of them get serious. So let's start with, let me pull this up on the screen really quick. Let's start with the leading breaking story. And actually, I think it's the most important story that we're going to talk about today. And it's right here. Can somebody put that? Yeah, I got it. Right. Remove, add to stage. So Elmo went woke, right-wing woke, whatever you call it.
He went fucking nuclear, dude.
This is the official Elmo account on Twitter. I don't know why Elmo has an official account on Twitter, but I'm going to go ahead and read. I'm going to kind of read it out because I don't want to get banned on here. So I'm quoting, Elmo says, all Jews should unalive. F Jews, Donald Trump is Netanyahu's puppet because he's in the Epstein files. Jews control the world and need to be X'd. Elmo also said, release the files, Donald Trump. And he called him a child fucker. And then he wrote, unalive all the J's. I'm trying to be as careful as possible, even though I did say the K word on here. Is this surprising to you that Elmo ape shit?
Well, no, considering the guy that created Elmo is a kitty diddler.
Is he?
You know, Kevin Clash, absolutely.
Oh.
Wait. Yeah, he had his hand up Elmo's ass for a long time.
So so obviously
having sex with a 15-year-old boy on the set of Sesame Street, dude.
Wonderful.
Obviously Elmo's account was hacked, which, you know, if you're somebody that can hack, or not really, it's not a hack, you know, if you gain access to somebody's account by whatever means you do so, you end up, I think this is better than hacking. I keep saying hacking. This is better than taking control of like a politician's account. It's like Elmo. So this was trending almost all night last night, and I was having a ball with all the memes that came out of this. You know, to the Jewish brethren in the audience, listen, look, funny is funny. You know, some of the shit he said there is way outrageous, but listen, taking over Elmo's account is crazy. But can you really say that you're surprised with Elmo's swing to the right after seeing this video I'm going to play next?
Oh, cocaine Elmo.
You know, Elmo's never been known to be calm. You know what I'm saying? Elmo's always been wild.
Yeah,
this is a 15-year-old video taken, you know.
Elmo, how was that? How do you feel?
Elmo feels kind of
Can we really be surprised about Elmo in this video?
No, he's been heading down the wrong path for a long time. Really, I think he was seen with Justin Bieber one night a couple years ago, and that was when you knew it was going to take a turn for the worse.
Ladies and gentlemen, we tried to be serious. We tried really hard.
This show's never been serious. Dude.
Elmo says, "Fuck the Jews."
Where did that come from, dude?
Oh man, and the people that I'm trying to get on my show for interviews are probably looking at this right now and going, "Oh my god, what am I in for?"
But it is news. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing a lot of issues. And we'll start. Actually, I want to pull up. You messaged me yesterday, Rob, about Alex Rosen. Right? So I do want to pull that up because I actually messaged Alex right after you messaged me. Alex has been on the show before. We've covered him numerous times throughout the show, and like I said, we interviewed him, and he recently caught a pedophile on a wheelchair that has no legs. You know, that was his latest.
Got no legs.
So let me see. What was the tweet? I'm trying to remember right now.
I'll bring it up right now.
While you pull this up real quick, and when I was serving my time at FCI Miami, there was a pedo in a fucking wheelchair there, and he was at another facility previously, and they raided his room while he was at this other facility, and this sick son of a bitch was writing a book on how to seduce children.
So it starts off with retard finder, and it says, if you think this was staged, you're a fucking retard. And it's the picture of Trump saying fight after he got shot. Alex Rosen then says, proud retard then. No Secret Service would let him pause and raise up like that. No blood went to his shirt. The hot mic picked up Trump saying, let me get my shoes. He was not shot or shot at.
Yeah. So basically what he said.
Oh, retard, dude.
In a nutshell, it was yesterday, because yesterday was the
14th. Yeah.
Time flies, man. I'll tell you, look, I was in my cell, and I had this little modified radio. You know what I'm talking about, Barry, the wind-ups?
Yeah.
I put a speaker in it. I had
the same thing going on.
I'm reading a book. You know, I didn't want to be outside watching the TV. I just wanted to listen. You know, and I'm listening to Trump, and I'm like, oh, hopefully he talks about the J6ers again or whatever. And I hear the pop, 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 and I hear people screaming, you know, and I run out of the cell. And the first TV that's close to me is a white TV, because in prison, you know, the TV are by race, right? So I run up to the white TV, and I see the head of the white car, and I'm like, put the fucking TV on, you know. And we almost got in a fight, but then I told him, bro, they just shot at the fucking president, right? And he goes, oh my God, let me see. And he puts it on, and we see that he did get up, you know, that he's alive, you know. And I was like, oh man, thank God. Listen, look, I really don't think that Alex, and again, I messaged him after you messaged. I don't think Alex thinks that, you know, that the whole thing was staged. I don't think he truly believes that. You know, Twitter was a place. I see a lot of people that are very, very serious on Twitter, right? And it was a place for shit posting, and it was fun. Like sometimes I post things, and like people get in the comments. I never used to have to deal with this, and like people think I'm serious about something. You know, there is an anger there. If you look at all his other posts, there is an anger there, you know, towards Trump, and he's never been like a really political person, right? You could tell he's always been raised right wing, but he's never been in the political sphere. So you see a lot of people mad, you know, at this administration. I'm not one. You know, for obvious reasons, I've stated this a million times on this show. I support the president 100%. My loyalty lies with him. He gave me my life back. But there's some people on Twitter that feel like other people's anger towards this administration is unwarranted. And it is warranted. It is their legitimate concerns in getting involved. And we've covered the Iranian Israel conflict that happened a couple weeks ago.
Admitted to the Lebanon affair.
I'm sorry?
Admitted to the Lebanon affair.
Sorry, that was my bad.
Sorry. Like those concerns that they have are legitimate, right? So they're fair arguments. Do they take them a little bit too far sometimes? Absolutely, I agree. But the same thing goes to the people that are saying, well, anybody that wants to shit on this administration for this are a bunch of cucks and a bunch of liberals. They're not. Do they take it too far? You could say, hey, you've taken it too far. But the concerns are legitimate. The concerns for issues, other issues that are happening, the Epstein files, how the president addressed those issues when he was next to Pam Bondi, when the question was for her, and his recent Truth Social post where he says, nobody cares. There's a lot of people that care. Is it different? Is the ratio of people angry outside of Twitter is lower? Yes, absolutely. Go outside, talk to people, and they're not pissed off with Trump. But remember, like, this little group of MAGA, right, is very influential, extremely influential. So to say, like, I could say I support the president no matter what. I could be like, well, I don't agree with this. I won't. You'll never hear me say, oh, fuck Trump. That'll never be a thing. But you can't say that their concerns are unwarranted. They are. So let me ask you guys what you think about this.
I'm one to say that being on the fence makes you an easy target. And again, I'm with you on that. Trump gave me my life back as well. He didn't just, get me out of prison. He gave me my life back. I have my right to vote and my right to bear arms back. So I'm forever indebted on a personal level. But yes, we were told about the Epstein files. That is, people did vote for exposure of that. And I don't think that this issue is just going to go away because we're not the type of people that brush shit under the rug. So I do support the continuation of demanding that the files be released. But you're not going to hear me get on there and say, oh, fuck Trump. Trump's a bad person and get involved in all that crap. Because at the end of the day, even if the Epstein files aren't released, yes, that's unfortunate and all telling, that in which we already fucking know that our government is extremely corrupt. But when you juxtapose Trump and who he is as a human being and a president at the same time, as opposed to the people that we've elected to this position in the past, he's pretty close to fucking perfect, in my opinion. I understand some people might not agree, and I also don't give a fuck.
Rob?
Well, I can tell you from many years' experience that he did get shot. There's no faking that. There's no way possible to fake that. That was an act of God as far as I'm concerned. You can't time that. It's not even possible. Plenty of gun tubers have gone out there and tried to recreate it, and it's just not possible. That was God looking out for him, period. Yeah. I think that it was, I really respect a lot of what Alex does. I respect all of what he does. Just to say that, right after that tweet, he got a guy arrested who was trying to pick up a 1-year-old from somebody to have sex with.
He's arrested 3 since last night, by the way.
Okay. Well, that was the one that I saw. Yeah. So I have to have respect for what he does and his passion for this, because I am very passionate about children, and people abusing children. I'm very passionate about it. To the point I wouldn't have a problem being the executioner. I'd be able to go home and eat a nice juicy steak and sleep very well knowing that I killed pedophiles.
Yeah.
But this is a bad take. This really is. This is unhinged anger and not thinking before he says something, and I think that statement was going full retard.
Yeah, and I think I think there is like this want for there's this want on social media for like the explosive shit. You know what I'm saying? Like there's this want to be the rebel. I got to see a portion of the Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes interview. And I think both of them are retards. I've known Candace for and I've known of Candace even longer, but she used to be it was called Black Pill Red or Red Pill Black. That's what she went by. Right? She played the race card. We saw the Blexit thing. And she shifts with whatever's controversial. And it's like these two figures. Nick isn't, I told you this on a phone call yesterday, Rob. Nick isn't really disliked for his views on Israel. Nick's disliked because he's just
Nick.
He's a dickhead.
He's a dickhead. He's one of those people that you meet and you're like, oh, I don't even want to hang out with this dude. We've never heard of Nick with another woman. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just like this attitude that you just is some of the things that he says true? Yes. Does he include the bluster in it? Yes. And so does Candace. So having these two figures like go at each other, and it just makes it's kind of like, look, I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to mention the other person's name, but we went to CPAC and we got kicked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a constant and a variable in that situation, Barry.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There was a constant that all of us got kicked out, right? That was the constant. But then how we got readmitted within a couple hours, there was a variable on how both parties took it. There was a group of people that went over there quietly, right? And said, hey, I just got a call, that you're giving me my pass back, the pass I paid for. And then the next person comes in with a whole bunch of cameras and starts crapping on the people, that security, the person in charge of ticketing, and they got kicked out. After they gave him back his pass, he got kicked out again. So you can't be like, well, this is the reason why people hate me. Right? Because the reason why people hate Nick isn't because of his views, because there's a lot of people with his views that aren't hated, So I found that very interesting, and I found both parties' reaction to it. The Candace Owens fans and the Nick Fuentes fans. Nick schooled her. Oh, Candace schooled her. You're racing to the bottom here. You're racing to the bottom. You're both retarded. So that brings us to the other subject. I don't know if you guys want to comment on any of that.
Nope.
No, I think you covered it, bro.
So the TPUSA thing.
I got it queued up.
Let's start with Patriotic Batty. We've had Rob's had her on his show previously on Critical Mass. I believe it was episode 1, correct?
Episode
Rob?
2.
Episode 2.
Actually, it was episode 3 because episode 1 was Isaiah Washington. Episode 2 was you and Barry in Miami, and then episode 3 was
her. So okay, so let's start with Patriotic Batty.
Where you put bombs in mail parcels and sent them to the Egyptian embassies of the UK and the USA to make it look like Egypt did it. You've admitted to that. Your prime minister resigned because of that.
I guess so. Well, it's like you just said.
Yeah, many of them. We stripped their bodies. We took their medals. We and we have their helmets. My family killed Nazis, a lot of them. And I grew up pro-Israel my entire life. But what I don't understand is, how can I sit by on televised screens and watch children be bombed indiscriminately? And when you say 50,000, but have you dug under the rubble? There's more bodies under. Wouldn't you agree? Under Gaza, there's rubble. It's a wasteland. and they say 50,000. You know how many terrorists you killed, but you.
So this is just showing her standing around listening to this, not doing anything, and then.
Ma'am, I'm asking for your badge, and then we're going to go ahead and remove you from the premise.
Because why?
I'm telling you because you were involved in an incident.
I was not involved. I just met him.
Remove you from the venue. This is private.
So because are you gonna arrest everybody that witnessed it?
Dylan.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. What's your name? Do you mind just walking out with us for a second?
Did I do anything?
You just walk out with us for just a moment.
Wait, hold on. I want to know what I did.
Pardon me. Sorry.
Sorry.
It's in there.
Yeah, it sounds that way, huh?
Did I do anything wrong? Okay, I'm sorry. I have foot surgery. I can't keep walking, not knowing where I'm going.
Yeah, so because you were involved in an incident earlier, we're going to go ahead and ask you to leave. If you wouldn't mind just handing over your badge.
Why am I being asked to leave? I didn't do anything.
You were involved in an incident.
I wasn't involved. I can't help it if he's asking him a person questions.
You were seen as involved in the incident, so we're going to go ahead.
Well, can I tell her, ask her what happened?
I'm telling you right now that you're going to be asked to leave. So
Because I was there.
Ma'am, I'm asking for your badge, and we're going to go ahead and remove you from the premise.
Because why?
I'm telling you because you were involved in an incident.
I was not involved. I can't control somebody else. I
just
just met him.
Remove you from the venue. This is private.
So because are you gonna arrest everybody that witnessed it?
Ma'am, I'm asking for your badge.
You know I'm cool. Like,
But I didn't see the incident.
but I didn't have nothing. I can't control a grown man. Okay, hold on. Didn't I tell her that? I literally told her I wish I told him to calm down. But I cannot control a grown man
Ma'am, I'm asking for your badge.
because of something what somebody else did.
Are you going to comply with giving me your badge?
I am, because I'm not getting arrested for this. This is just ridiculous. I didn't do anything. I had no involvement in
Thank
this.
you very much. We're going to go ahead and have you comply.
I had no involvement in this.
Just goes to prove that there are faggots on the right too.
So I didn't know this happened, and I'm actually surprised that there's only one retweet on that. There's no retweets on that post. I'm going to go ahead and retweet it after the show, but
Well, that was only 14 minutes ago. There's other videos that have been retweeted. This one was retweeted 28 times with 7,500 views. So yeah, but then this was just the latest.
I'm pretty sure the guy that just kicked her out was in that Jaguar commercial.
That's her with Myron. So I guess that didn't help her cause either.
I don't know if they kicked out Myron. I doubt it. But regardless of the fact,
but damn, dude forgot leg day. What the fuck?
well, he's a thin guy. But regardless of the fact, so let me give you some history with the Proud Boys and TP USA events. I've never attended a single TP USA event. And the reason why is because every time my guys go, back in I believe it was 2018 or early 2019, at some point at that point, they took, they were doing pictures with Charlie Kirk and another person. And as soon as he took the picture, because you stand in front of the step and repeat wall, and they walked out. As soon as he walked away, Charlie Kirk told him, "Let me delete that picture right now. Delete that picture." And they made him delete the picture because he had a Fred Perry on. It's wild to me, the evolution of this. It's not really an evolution; it's the same thing that we're seeing, because we just saw her standing around and recording. What's funny is, like, she had the dual camera on where you could see her face and you could see what she's recording. We also need to get her better audio. I don't suggest that Rob suggests any audio equipment. I'll take care of that from the Warboy Studios. But for the most part, we didn't see her
because we want it to work, Rob.
All my shit works. You guys are the ones that have a problem when you go out in the fucking field. You forget you're in
classic gaslighting there.
No, my shit
Nice,
always works, dude. I don't even
nice
wanna hear it.
communist move you just
I don't
pulled
even
there.
wanna hear it. I
That
don't even
in
wanna
which
hear it.
I am guilty of.
You
Blame the other
fucking
side
idiot.
first. What a
You-
fucking liberal move
fucking
you just
idiot.
pulled on us.
Fucking
All right there,
microphones don't
Patriot
work.
Stalin. Sure, no
In-ear
problem.
monitors
Rob
don't work.
Lennon.
Fucking cameras aren't recording. Fuck you, dude. My
That's
shit
because I'm
works.
a fucking idiot and I don't know how to work any of this shit. I take full responsibility. You're sitting in a recording studio.
That's also true. I think that we should not give Barry the ability to promote any video products or give any tech advice about video.
No.
He comes in the green room. You notice this, Rob? Every time he's come into the green room in the morning while we're setting up, what we're going to talk about, his mic doesn't work.
Yeah, he can't figure it out. He's got to tap it.
Yeah.
This is why, as good as those mics are, dude, I'm good with this, man.
But nobody knows that because when we go live, I've got it all figured out.
So,
we've sat there for 7 minutes while fucking old man Rob's just pressing buttons trying to get the sound to work.
This is between us and Chatter. Fuck you. This is fun. Chatter's the nightmare.
Fuck you, Chatter.
So let's dig into this because there's a couple things that happen at this event, and this is just one, and I think this is actually the most egregious one.
Yeah.
Because we saw her clearly. She didn't do anything. She was just recording, So a couple other things. So they let Tucker Carlson speak, right? And they brought in Dave Smith for a debate, right? Now, I'm not a big fan of Dave Smith, right? I'm not at all. Him calling for the impeachment of the president because the president bombed a building with no people in it, a nuclear facility on top of that, makes him a retard. But Tucker's not a retard, right? You could say you dislike some of the things that Tucker's done recently or whatever, and still be, clear on that. But what I do see is a lot of influencers and going at Tucker, going at Charlie Kirk for giving Tucker a platform, right? Or for giving Dave Smith a platform. And there's kind of a two-sided situation here that we're seeing because Dave Smith has such a large following and because Tucker has a large following, they get this pass, right? But Patriotic Batty doesn't, right? And I find this
black,
this little ex-beef civil war. I find it great, because you should give Tucker a platform. You should give Dave Smith a platform. And the debate, I only caught the Dave Smith debate a little bit. And what I did notice in the Dave Smith debate is, although I think that he is a little bit of an SJW, the person that was debating him had a pro-Israel stance, but didn't stick to the issues and was attacking Dave Smith's character instead of attacking the things that he was saying, right? And that kind of shows you, like, disagree with them, but let's stick to the subject. At least when we disagree, when Patty's here, like, we don't attack Patty's person. We joke with him, obviously, but we don't attack Patty's person. We're like, okay, this is why you're wrong, because 99% of the time, Patty's wrong. But we don't attack him and be like, well, you've been this your entire life and you had this problem. It's like bringing up somebody's like marriage record. We talked about this on the last show with Ken Paxton. He got a divorce, whatever. Be like, oh, fuck, divorce is wrong morally, right? You could say that, but you'd be like, okay, well, it has nothing to do with him being a fucking senator. So what's your take on I don't know, have you guys seen this outrage machine that we saw on there?
Go ahead, Barry.
Well, you did that whole like take a breath thing, like you were gonna go. So
no,
kind of.
I said, did you guys watch it?
No, that was at Raleigh. He was like, okay, go Barry. So yeah, I didn't see too much of the Dave Smith stuff, but it goes to show. It was a conservative debating him, another conservative.
It was another conservative.
One thing I learned really quick when going to prison for January 6th, and being amongst different very staunch conservatives is conservatives talk so much shit about other conservatives. It is sickening. We are definitely the party of crabs in a bucket. So I'm not going to really, I don't condone attacking someone's character, but that goes to show you when you have no argument and you try to discredit a witness who has a valid point in the court of law, you do that by discrediting their character. And that when you do on the prosecution side, that witness has something very valuable to say, but you discredit their character to make them not even want to take the stand. And if they do, the jury is unlikely to believe their true narrative that is detrimental to your case. And you see a lot of that go on with debates. And I think that's exactly what you saw here. But it sickens me that we've become the party where, Democrats will fly to El Salvador to have fucking margaritas with a gangbanger that beats his wife, while conservatives, like you mentioned, Enrique, won't even be in a picture with Proud Boys or J6ers. Conservatives are afraid to be in the same room and talk to us, while the left rally around guys that do church shootings in Lexington and unalive fucking CEOs of health insurance companies. That's who the left champions, and the right won't even be in pictures with guys like me and you. And that goes to what I always say: the Proud Boys didn't form because of the violence on the left. No, the Proud Boys formed because of the weakness on the right, and that is a pure demonstration of that. So attacking someone's character does not discredit the fact that they have something very valuable to say.
Rob?
The Republican establishment sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that easy, man. We can break it down. We can delve into the minutia of it, but at the end of the day, the Republican establishment is straight garbage. They espouse all of these conservative values, but when they're faced with people who have done so much to move the party forward, that because they're on the outliers or they're the black sheeps, they want nothing to do with it, when they don't seem to realize that people like us, whether it be the Proud Boys or any real conservative group, has put them where they are. It's guys like us that watched Charlie Kirk, got TPUSA to where it is. If there weren't guys like us, if there wasn't a contingent of American citizens that didn't put their money and time and faith into TPUSA, they wouldn't be able to have something like this. And it's just like Black Rifle Coffee Company when they came out against us, when they came out against Kyle Rittenhouse, when they came out against talking about the Proud Boys. Listen, it's us conservatives that made you billionaires with your coffee. We were the ones buying Silencer Smooth. We were the ones buying AK-47 because it sure as fuck wasn't the left. But then to come out and say what you said about the Proud Boys and what you said about Americans and pro-Trump and Kyle Rittenhouse, yeah, there's a reason why your company tanked, because liberal homos are not buying your coffee, and you try to appeal to a broader audience while disrespecting what the people that got you there in the first place, and that's exactly what TPUSA did.
Rob, let me ask you something. Do you think in order to win elections, we've expanded the tent too much? Like we want to get everybody under the umbrella. Do you think that we expanded? And I'm not going to say Trump himself did this, but I think the Republican Party, in order to pander to votes, do you think that we've expanded that tent too much?
Way too far. Here's the thing. I'm somebody that tries to espouse conservative values in everything that I do. And I feel that there are a lot of things that in the conservative party, in the Republican Party now, that don't espouse conservative values. And we accept it because we need the votes. And there's a lot of people that don't come out and vote because of that. I mean, look, our president was a Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard was a fucking Democrat. I mean, there's a huge swath of people that he brought in that were once Democrats. I mean,
Are you unhappy with Tulsi?
I didn't trust her. I I listened to her for years. I liked what she had to say. She was definitely one of those JFK Democrats, very, very measured and centrist as far as I was concerned. But the fact that the lead up to 24, she all of a sudden went from a Democrat, a Hawaiian Democrat who was vehemently opposed to assault rifles, that misnomer, AR-15s, to turning into a gun bunny doing 3-gun shoots. I don't trust people like that. You don't have that kind of awakening overnight. But I'm actually really cautiously optimistic about her. I think that she would be the one that, if I had to take an L on calling out right from the very beginning, I would at this moment right now I would definitely take an L on her. Meaning that I didn't have any fucking faith in her whatsoever, and I see that she's the only one really honestly doing a good job at what she's doing, and she's staying quiet and she's sticking to her values, and it doesn't seem like she's been compromised. So I just, as far as she goes, from what I've seen, again, I definitely take the L.
So quickly, I'm going to touch on just Tulsi. So Tulsi, I was following the Democratic, the DNC's primary for the 2020 election, and it was something that reverberated every time they had the debate, because they had a shit ton of debate. Their first debate was here in Miami, and we protested it. All her other stances were crap. Her stance on foreign policy was a mirrored image of what the president's foreign policy was from the beginning. So there hasn't been a change in her in that.
No.
Now, to touch on the subject of the expanding of the tent, right? I think we have expanded the tent too much. So when you would go to a TP USA event, and again, I didn't, but you'd see libertarianism and the Libertarian Party are a different party. They have a different platform. I do have libertarian leaning views, and you would see, you saw that the beginnings of that expanding the tent, not in 2016. You started seeing that during the Trump administration, and you started seeing that first from TP USA and Charlie Kirk. Most of the signs that they would give out so you can hold while the people were speaking, so you could hold up the signs, had libertarian values in it. And the whole taxation is theft is a libertarian platform. It's not a Republican platform.
It's a conservative platform.
Listen, the taxation without representation, I think, goes closer to the Republican platform than it does the libertarian platform. If you talk to these libertarians, which is like the thing that you get into when you get into politics and you're like in middle school or high school, like that's the rebellious thing to do, to be a libertarian. Obviously there needs to be some taxes on things. Are we further out? Like if we were to bring the founding fathers and the people that helped to write the founding documents into today and be like, and you put them in a time machine and you bring them back and be like, hey, and they wake up and they're like, hey, we fought this war for a 3% tax on a breakfast beverage. How are we doing now? And then you start fucking seeing like these rates that are like fucking 30%, 40%, and in some cases 50% taxation rates. Like they would lose their shit, right?
They would have already picked up their guns.
So government needs money to run, so I do understand that the concept of taxation, but we start seeing that shift in trying to bring in these libertarian minded young folks, because that's what TPUSA does. They used to go to, well, they still do. They go to college campuses. They do the culture war thing, and they try to bring these people in. How they bring them in, they get these libertarians and they bring them in that fashion. I do have libertarian views when it comes to firearms. I do have libertarian views when it comes to a lot of things, but the expansion of that tent, and this is a perfect example. Dave Smith is a libertarian. In some cases, I think he's leans further left on certain issues, right? Because we see him say America first, but him advocate for Iran and the people of Gaza, right? You can't be America first and champion another nation, regardless if it's Israel, Iran, Mexico, whatever the fuck, Ukraine, Russia, whatever. and that expansion of that tent is the cause that why we have Dave Smith today. And then you see them turn their backs on certain things. And I'm when it comes to the Republican Party, the conservative values in the Republican Party, I'm anti-immigration when it comes to my party, right? When you come in and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be a fucking Republican. Don't bring your fucking views. Don't bring any of your other views and be like, well, the only reason I'm a Republican is because of this, which is fair. You could do that, but you can't. Don't say that. Be like, okay, well, I support this policy, but the expansion of that 10 is why we have this problem that we have today. You know, that's why we're so pro fucking. I'm going to say it. The Republican Party pro the LGBT shit, which is the leading cause of the sexualization of children. You get me? So in order to pander to them, we've expanded this tent, which is a dangerous front. I do want to, on my last rant, I do want to cover something that Kerry and Campbell had said here in the thing. Dave Smith, Laura Loomer thinks he will run for president. Well, Dave Smith, I don't think is going to run for president. Wait, she clears it up here, meaning Tucker Carlson would run for president. I think Tucker would be a great president. Does he get a little bit too much into these cultural issues? Yes, but I think Tucker, if you want a true person that is America first, I think Tucker does. And we've seen it time and time again with Tucker. Do I like his views on certain things? No, but I think that he would always make a decision to put America first. Would he, if you bring him in as vice president, would I support that ticket? Absolutely. What do you guys think about what I just said about Tucker? Would you support Tucker for president?
That's one thing that I'll give the left if they ever accuse me of being in a cult. It would be the Tucker Carlson cult. Considering the fact that I did get stabbed in the face in Northern Neck Regional Jail for watching Tucker Carlson. I'm a huge supporter of Tucker. I really like the way he delivers his values, his systems. I don't agree with him on everything, but I think if there's a human being on this planet that you agree with on everything, it's probably AI. So, I'm not going to hold him to some kind of elite standard in that fact. But yes, if Tucker Carlson for president or vice president or any facet of politics, I would support 100%.
Yeah. Rob.
At one time, I would say yes.
But at this current time, you'd say no?
I'm on the fence.
Okay.
I really am. I've always respected his views on being anti-war. I've always respected his views on, smaller government, maximum freedom. I think that he would be as polarizing a candidate as Trump.
I mean, we're in.
I'm okay with that, and I'm okay with that. I don't know. I think that honestly, the way I look at him, he doesn't want it, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's what this country needs. It's Trump pushed back on it for 30 years before he ever decided to run. I mean, he told Oprah straight out. I don't know. I honestly never really put a lot of thought to it, but I think he would be a good president. Where my head's at right now, I honestly can't tell you.
Who would be? Listen, let's be honest here. JD Vance is going to be the presidential nominee.
No, he is
28.
That's how it works.
That's a foregone conclusion. What's your dream pick for VP? Your dream pick for VP, and don't say Ted Nugent.
Honestly,
he's going to say Ted Nugent.
No. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but
ooh, it's spicy.
Yeah, I think Tulsi.
I'd support that too. I mean, listen, I'd support any ticket on the right now.
As long as she stayed away from the Second Amendment, I've never really had a problem with anything she's ever said.
Has she changed your position since? I haven't really followed that.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the reason why I didn't trust her to begin with, is because she went from an anti-gun Hawaiian liberal, which it is the worst state for the Second Amendment in our country, next to Massachusetts and then California after that. And now Rhode Island's like, hey, hold my beer.
It's always crazy to me that Massachusetts, like Boston,
the worst place for the Second Amendment.
Boston. You're going to tell me that Boston is like the birth of our nation practically happened there.
They forget that the Green Dragon exists.
And having Massachusetts as like this ultra liberal state just doesn't vibe.
And psychotically anti-Second Amendment, dude, like to the nth degree, like worse other than Hawaii, worse than even California. She, when she was thinking about switching parties or getting herself in on the Republican side, she all of a sudden did a complete 180, and she started doing 3-gun matches and wearing the tight gear and the plate carrier and running an AR. Yes, I understand that she was in the military, and I have respect for her military service, but at the same time, you can't go and be a lifelong liberal who's anti assault rifle. I fucking hate saying an AR-15 or scary black gun, and then start doing this without for guys like me and in this community. And you also got to understand, the sportsmen don't come out to vote. There's millions and millions of people who are in the sportsman category that don't vote because of this reason. We've had our Second Amendment rights taken away for so long. We're just like, so you put somebody like Tulsi in there who's been anti-Second Amendment, and you get people going, so she did this switch. But other than that, I've never really had a problem. She's anti-war, she's anti-big government, and there was a lot of things that all of these years that she's said that I've actually had respect for, except her stance on the Second Amendment. So if she stays away from the Second Amendment, I think that she would be a great candidate. I would have said Kristi Noem, but Kristi Noem now doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of being a VP pick because she screwed the pooch when she killed the pooch.
Yeah.
Well, I liked her more for that, but a lot of element of Tulsi that gets left out of the conversation a lot is what happened to her when she started to question her Democrat Party, and when she was placed, and her husband both were placed on this Quiet Skies list and got those quad S's on her plane ticket. It was at that point, I think, that because I think you said brilliantly earlier, Rob, that a transition like that just doesn't happen overnight, but there can be aggravating factors that speed up an awakening. And I do believe Tulsi was subjected to the swamp that she knew of, but maybe was not really aware how easily it could be inflicted on her. And I think there was an awakening that happened within Tulsi. So I really like where she's going, but want to keep my eye on the ball with that one. But I do like her.
And she's not even Republican. She's independent, correct? Yeah, she went independent. I don't think she went full Republican.
Sure. And and if you look at her voting record, because at the end of the day, that's what really matters, her voting record still stands independent, So,
yeah, I could definitely. I'm erring on the side of I could definitely see her, and I would be happy with that ticket. Tucker Carlson, obviously, I would be happy with that ticket. I just don't think he wants it to the point that he'll do everything in his power to. Yes, Reno, she's absolutely easy on the eyes. There's no doubt about that. She's totally hot. But other than that, I mean, really, I don't see anybody viable. I mean. Obviously, if he can get out of the conundrum, I would love to see Dan Bongino.
I want to see Kim Klacik get back into politics in some fashion.
Stop.
You don't think Dan Bongino?
No. I think that if he does not resign, and if he doesn't get louder, he won't be able to come out of his position and go back to podcasting.
People would just have no faith in him anymore. You're right. You're right.
So, Tulsi, I think she would probably be a really good candidate if she were to keep doing what she's doing now, lay low under the radar, make announcements on what she's done, and that's it. We haven't really seen her come out and do like like some press, and I think it's not in her nature to do so. So as far as her job, I've given her an A so far.
Yeah, I can get with you on that one.
Yeah. So another one would probably be Tucker, but I think like, for example, in the 2024 election, I think Trump knew that he had it in the bag. So he picked somebody that wouldn't bring more people into the tent. I think he brought somebody in that is right wing. Now, are there things about JD that I have questions about? Yeah, of course. Because he had all the other picks were establishment. Marco Rubio would have brought more Latino vote or whatever the fuck it is that they claimed, and a couple others that he had in that running, and he picked the best one. He picked the best one at that point. Would Tucker, we're gonna have an uphill battle coming into 2028. Let's see if things change, but bringing in
that would be a funny ticket, Reno.
What, Rob and Yee? Oh, geez. How about Elmo and Yee?
Elmo and Yee.
Elmo and Yee. Yay. Is it Yay or Yee?
Who cares?
Whatever. Yay. They're of the same mind apparently right now. But yeah. So okay. So let's start closing out the show. We've gone way over, and we're about to get into territory that we don't want to get because Kim's going to be going live at 2:30.
All right, let's close it on out.
Barry.
Bye.
Rob.
Everybody have a great day. My show, Critical Mass with Patriot Rob, is on at 5 p.m. today. It's going to be on the X Space. So if you go over to my profile at X at the Rob 1772, I'll be really impressed if people really understand what 1772 is to signify. But at the Rob 1772 and repost the space, it's going to be open discussion. I'll just do my monologue at the beginning to start us off. You guys come on in. Let's have a conversation. And I'm working with a woman now, Reno. I'm working with a woman now who was trafficked and abused by Jeffrey Epstein and wrote a book about it. And I'm trying to get her scheduled on the show as my next guest. And I'm not going to say that I'm excited about it because you can't be excited about it or something like that. But it's going to be an honor to be able to talk to her. And we're going to take the show very seriously. We're going to have an X Space with it. And I'm really happy that she agreed to do the show.
Yeah. And for those that don't know what 1772 means, that's how many audio issues that we've had on the Four Boy Studio with Rob's audio setup.
Yes.
Audio's fine. Chatter Studio sucks.
A word from so let's start with this. At 2:30 we have Kim's War Paint goes live here on Twitter. Rob's going to be going live at 5 o'clock. Barry goes live at all times and reruns his show, so please watch all three of those shows. Tomorrow we have Patty's show at 7, and we will be doing the War Stream this week after a 1-week hiatus. We will be playing, I guess I got outvoted this week.
Yes, you did. Division 2.
We're going to be playing the Division 2 at around 8-ish on Wednesday night. We'll see if we do the news show tomorrow, depending on if there's any stories. Me and Barry got some projects that we're working on for you guys. And let me talk to you about two of our sponsors. Number one, well, not sponsors. It's, I guess both of them have to do with me. So go to iceraid.us. It's an app that helps you get paid for taking pictures and putting into our database illegal immigration, crimes committed by illegal immigrants and things like that. Just take a look at it. Number two, we will be ramping up the 1776.shop. Okay, with cool gear. We had a question in the audience a little while ago of where you could get Proud Boys merchandise. You can get Proud Boys merchandise. Go to proudboysusa.com to check and see if you could join your local chapter. Some chapters are not accepting members right now. It's a very inclusive club, and we're very selective of who we pick. But to get cool gear, I have shirts, the American Supremacist shirt, shirts from Ethan. We're going to be having Critical Mass t-shirts, and we're going to have the American Rising t-shirts. Also, if you look at Barry's screen up there on the top left, we will be selling LED signs to have at in your home, your office.
What happened to yours?
Mine actually, that's what's left of it because I kind of, by mistake, completely obliterated it in trying to put things together in here. Also some wooden cutting boards, custom wooden cutting boards that we're going to be having, but go to 1776.shop. On our next show, we'll be giving a 10% discount, and we will be having a t-shirt contest on our
wet t-shirt contest.
I mean, you can wet it if you guys want after we send it, and send us the pictures. I actually send it to Barry.
Yeah.
Be careful what you ask for there.
Oh, send it to me. I'm the one that's single. Listen, I'm looking out for my boy.
So Jose, go ahead and send your pictures of your wet t-shirt contest to Patriot Rob. He's going to really appreciate that one because he's single.
Rob, I think doing a shirt is not going to help your subscribers or followers. But I'll let you be the judge. So I appreciate you guys. That pretty much concludes our show. We might have a news brief tomorrow. We might not, but we'll let you guys know. Thank you for joining, and I am signing off, and so are your hosts.
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Peter said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
An FBI agent arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now.